Welcome once again. This is News Tonight at 10. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. Let's get into the bulletin. President Museveni has resolved a long-standing land dispute involving the people of Kazinga Town Council, Re Ntuha and Migamba sub-counties and the government. Now the president assured the residents they could remain on the land and promised to relocate to the planned industrial park to Chakatu. President Museveni made these remarks while addressing the public at Retuha Primary School in Rentuha Sub-County, Chaka South Chegegwa District. He emphasized that although it was a mistake for the people to encroach on government land, he cautioned them not to repeat such actions in the future. He also urged the community to avoid encroaching on wetlands, swamps and forests, warning that such practices contribute to environmental degradation and prolonged droughts. The president explained that the land in Chaka 1 was originally designated for an industrial park, which would provide a local market for their products and create jobs. President Museveni announced the relocation of the industrial park to Chaka 2 alongside the investor interested in establishing an avocado factory. He encouraged farmers to grow avocados to support the factory's supply chain. He also urged them to plant pasture to improve milk production and pledged to provide tractors to assist in the growing animal feed, thereby phasing out the free grazing.
Ngwabatere orukumu batanake valire kandi rundi abaleke asigazi ibanja eri abantu batoro kubombekera center ya factories industrial park.
Mfuleni mugano hasigayeho Chaka 2.
Ego mgurusi wange haliyo Chaka 2.
Ego cyariho.
Ego ero tata.
Nangwa
Chaka 2 mugurusi wange. Chaka 2 is active as a refugee settlement. Eri mwensuhuki kyonka nkoto muno. Ene bitweke ebindi ebitakwasirweho. Ebikusobora kujya mu industrial park, ebikusobora no kujya mu amalimiro ga avocado n'ebindi byone bigonza kukora mu Rwanda. Obundani njuka kurungi zikaba ziri square mile 62.
Very good. Mbona hati kandi gihari yaho abakazinga atuyaza kumpagira unduto nyiri hinduya
muhuririze
atuyaza kumpagira
gambire ngwarekere kubatera urukumu kutanaka ati cyonka naenda muhagire mu bintu bibiri yaja kusobora.
Ekyokubanza environment.
Ati mumuhagire ubuhangwa bwensi.
Bwensi habokuba ebitukwenda kukora nka irrigation niyenda ngo tureke kutahirira ebisharira tureke kutahirira enyanja.
Mulindo ubuhangwa bwensi mureke kutaha ebisaru mureke kutaha enyanja komya amaizi ago nitugetaga fuhire birimo byaitu kukurakuraniza ebishweka
habokuba turikwenda kubamenyeza ubukafiri
Atitarikwenda musemererwe mugumire mu bukafiri.
Obukafiri n'okutamanya ekiteekorwa.
Ati abakafiri nibo abatamanya ekibasemerire kukora.
Ahabwokuba okutahirira ebisharira mukoomera amaizi ng'ono nimutuuruuka kandi amaizi tugeetenga kwija kushukirira ebihingwa mbwenu ekyo n'eki.
Ati inywe abakoomya ebisaaru nimubibyaramu emiti nimubirimamu ekyo nikwe mukwete enkurakurana
Nambemwe.
ati mubanze muhagire muri ekyo nka nambemu mukikwate nka nambemu mukikirize ngo nimugenda kumuhagira muramuhagira mu bisaaru murarugamu abadisi.
Mrs. Janet Museveni, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, has expressed gratitude to Finchurch Aid Uganda for their support and promotion of quality education in Uganda. She highlighted Finchurch Aid's FCF's significant work, particularly in the refugee hosting districts, providing technical assistance to the Education Policy Review Commission, developing infrastructure and supporting continuous teacher development. Mrs. Museveni hosted a high-level delegation from Finland at State House, Entebbe.
During the meeting, Mrs. Museveni praised the quality and excellence of all Finchurch Aid-built schools. She emphasized the importance of such attention to detail for skills development, noting that it teaches Africans to prioritize quality in all endeavors. The First Lady acknowledged global admiration for Finland's education system, citing it as the reason for the Education Service Review Commission's benchmark visit to Finland. Mrs. Museveni requested Finnish support for vocational education in Uganda, particularly in training instructors for technical and vocational institutes.
We would like to see how we can cooperate and work together in some of our areas of education. Skills development for sure, but even other, well, even the other Scandinavian countries, to do something with trainers for skills development. I still have that need.
The First Lady also highlighted the Ministry of Education and Sports' embrace of digital information management systems, expressing interest in improving techniques for registering all school children in the country.
And I was trying to get all the school children in the country registered because we have been attempting many times, but our exercises don't work permanently.
Regarding Uganda's open-door refugee policy, Mrs. Museveni explained that many Ugandans, including our family, were once refugees themselves.
Basically offer what we have, knowing that nobody just wants to run away from their country. So because we have that background, it helps us to remember where we have come from and what we can do for others when they stand where we once stood.
The Most Reverend Dr. Patricia Lukoma commended the First Lady and President Museveni for Uganda's progressive policies and maintaining stability in the country. He shared that he had visited Uganda during the LRA insurgency years ago and was pleased to find a peaceful Uganda now. He offered prayers and continued peace and stability in the country.
One thing I think that also Finland and many other countries in the world could learn from Uganda, your country, is the way you welcome refugees and how you handle the problem of internally displaced people. So I have been personally here once before in 2009, and we visited some refugee camps up in the north in Kitgum. And then I was very impressed how welcoming Uganda was for those people who were forced to leave their own home surroundings.
Yeah.
His Excellency Patricia Lukoma, the Finnish ambassador to Kenya and Uganda, reaffirmed Finland's commitment to supporting Finchurch Aid. he pledged continued funding for initiatives benefiting refugee communities, education, and youth empowerment. Reporting for UBC, Paguma William.
The Speaker of Parliament, Senator Mong, has expressed the need for Parliament to have a clear framework that will drive enacted laws like the Public Procurement and Disposal Act and policies to benefit the special interest groups, while presiding over the signing of commitment to popularize the PPDA amendments across the sub-regions of Uganda. Commissioner of Parliament Matthias Mpuga, who represented the Speaker, said Parliament is to prioritize activation of this law.
The youth, women and persons with disability are to get at least more than 15% of the 65% of the money in the budget allocated to public procurement. This was catered for under the amendments in the PPDA to have inclusivity of the special interest groups of the population. Ronald Tumuhaire, manager local content at PPDA, says the guideline of this reservation scheme has properly defined private enterprises for youth, women and PWDs.
Bidding fees should not be paid while participating in this scheme. You know, bidding fees are usually charged and non-refundable. So while participating, the youth, women, and persons with disability under this scheme, we are saying they should not be charged.
The Assistant Commissioner Procurement at Uganda Revenue Authority, Ruth Chebet, expressed the need for capacity building and financial literacy to have this scheme implemented.
Is committed to supporting PPDA as they simplify the requirements through our own simplification of the tax procedures, so that tax compliance is not a barrier to their participation.
Under the amendment, PPDA has put thresholds on all procurements below 10 million at district level and below 30 million at national level to go to these special interest groups. Parliament has pledged to prioritize activation of this law.
We must have a clear framework that will drive implementation of set policies and enacted laws by all stakeholders to benefit our common peoples.
Eastern Region Youth MP Bernard Odoi says as legislators they want government and agencies implementing this scheme to be accountable at quarterly level.
We want to request or commit as Parliament that before we approve budget for these MDAs, they must share with us how compliant they have been in regards with this scheme. You disbundle and ensure that instead of giving contract to one company, break it down to 6 so that the different groups of women, the different groups of youth, the different groups of people with disabilities can also be part of this conversation.
Pastor Robert Kayanja of Rubaga Miracle Center Cathedral said without checks and balances, this scheme will also die. He emphasized that the country has lost on youth contribution because of nepotism.
You will tell, the first person you tell, you open a door for you, is not the qualified one. Is who known to you. So if we're going to help the disabled, if we're going to help the women, Mr. Chairman, if we're going to help the youth, it has to be very transparent.
Stakeholders in the PPDA amendments have kick-started a campaign to popularize the initiative across sub-regions of Uganda, starting with Bukedde. I'm Nafka Farida and Dan Lugemwa at Parliament.
Thank you, Nafka Farida. Now the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Anabanja, has called on all Ugandans to integrate hand washing into their daily routines to reduce the disease burden among Ugandans. The Prime Minister was representing President Yoweri Museveni at the Presidential Dialogue on Water, Sanitation and Hygiene held at Parliamentary Building in Kampala.
the first ever presidential dialogue under the theme Building Resilient Communities, Prioritizing Water, Sanitation and Hygiene, Financing and Investment, was presided over by the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabbanja, who represented the President.
Hand washing with soap is a fundamental act, but it is one that has the power to change lives. It is a simple act that can prevent diseases such as cholera, dysentery, typhoid, and respiratory infections. We need to get this right with sustainable approaches if we are to win the battle against diseases. When we had the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, we witnessed firsthand the importance of hand washing in reducing the spread of contagious diseases. Hand washing became a frontline tool. I repeat, a frontline tool.
She called on all Ugandans to integrate hand washing into the daily routines at home, in schools, and at workplaces in order to reduce the disease burden among Ugandans.
I urge teachers, health workers, and community leaders to champion this cause. We need to instill in our children the habit of washing their hands with soap at critical moments, before eating, after using a toilet, and after touching surfaces that may be contaminated.
You should be preventing the diseases instead of asking for more money for buying more medicine. Reduce the burden of diseases so that you don't have all that burden of diseases. And I think he's right. And this is the reason we have people like you here, to help us, to work with our communities, to work with the MD, Ministry of Local Government and other partners, to make sure that we reduce that burden of disease. I've told you 75% of that burden of disease. Wash diseases themselves cost us 530 billion per annum. That's a big burden. Our burden for medicines is 511 billion. Medicines for the whole of this country. But you can see wash diseases alone are costing us 530.
We should come up with a law, because there are people who will not leave the practice, of open defecation without some force. I mean, what is so difficult about digging a latrine?
As a result of government interventions, Nabbanja said Ugandans now have access to safe clean water.
The coverage in rural areas is now at 67% and 73% in urban areas. We are moving steadily. Out of 225 villages in Uganda, 617 villages have been served with at least one safe water source. And to me, this is a big achievement.
Currently, the government of Uganda invests close to 1 trillion shillings in the water sector, but 7 trillion shillings is required if the country is to attain 100% full water coverage by 2040.
It has been a busy day across the country as school management took senior 4 candidates through the briefing exercise, which is a mandatory requirement by the Ministry of Education and Sports for all schools. The briefing was accompanied by prayer sessions, all calling for God's guidance.
At Chinawa High School, Mugongo, situated in Wakiso District, teachers and educational experts had already settled by 10 a.m. taking candidates through the do's and don'ts regarding the briefing ahead of the Uganda Certificate of Examinations that will commence on Monday.
We have said the rules which govern this answer booklet are very clear.
Later, the school head teacher gave candidates an opportunity to ask questions related to the exercise that they want well versed with.
Is asking, after having this booklet and it is done up to the last, this is the last one, and you would wish to have a new one, do we still write on the new one the details the way we wrote on the first one? Yes. I'm saying a very big yes.
The school also conducted a special prayer session dua for candidates to pray for Allah's guidance during and throughout the examination period.
وانشقت السماء فهي يومئذ واهية والملك على أعدائها ويحمل عرش ربك فإذا هي.
We have done our role as teachers, the parents have done their role. Now we dedicate them in prayer and we supplicate in terms of dua.
The school headmistress Hajati Aisha Nakachinda Matovu is convinced that they have equipped students with enough knowledge to help them excel.
To be able to attempt them, they are going to set for them scenario-based items. And in these items, we believe that these students have been trained to identify and understand and be able to pull out the way they understand the scenario and then apply it.
Some of the 313 candidates who registered for the 2024 UCE finals that we talked to revealed to us that all is well and they are eagerly waiting to sit their papers.
Today we have had the briefing of the senior candidates and we are so much interested in passing our exam successfully. As you know that we are the pioneers of this curriculum, so we are well versed and covered the curriculum now, and the school has provided resources and seminars and teachers so that we can acquire the needed education and the facilitation that we need in order to succeed in this examination.
Our expectations, of course, we are trying to prepare. Our head teacher has tried to pay for us facilitations. We have had our facilitators out of the school and within the school.
It was the same experience at Progressive Secondary School Chitintale, with the school head teacher Judy Pius Chitanywa applauding the government for introduction of the new lower secondary curriculum, which he believes has helped learners gain hands-on skills.
I appreciate so much the works and needs of the Ministry of Education and the NCDC, and still under the management of UNEB. This tooling has helped us so much and has made people conform to the lower secondary curriculum norms. We believe our learners are going to do their best.
The candidates are optimistic of good results.
I really thank my parents for everything they have done to reach me thus far. I want to thank the Almighty God for providing. So now that everyone we started with has reached where we are right now on the briefing day, I want to thank our school, the teachers who have done a very great.
We are very prepared. As you can see, we are doing everything we can to make this a successful new curriculum for all of Uganda and for everyone to know that this is going to impact more than what they think it is.
So if you don't forget that this is our 5th year, even after all COVID affecting us, this is our 5th year that we are going to be sitting for our examinations. But in the first place, the teachers have really done what is enough. The administrators have really done what is enough.
I'm Ivan Joko and Robert Katamba for UBC.
Still in the area of education, with Uganda entering a busy period in readiness for primary living Uganda certificate and Uganda advanced certificate of education examinations, it's a beehive of activities at many schools. This Friday has witnessed a briefing of the senior 4 learners and blessing prayers to usher the learners into this life-defining period with God as their hope and savior.
With the nation bracing for the 2024 Leavers examinations, there has been briefing of senior 4 candidates witnessed at Crested Secondary School, Makindye. Here, 125 candidates have been briefed about the do's and don'ts and also prayed for during a praise and worship session that was truly fitting for the pioneer class to sit examinations under the new lower secondary curriculum. Reverend Canon Everett Mugarra urged candidates to be courageous and confident with faith in God.
Ours was to encourage them, and one of the things I mentioned was to make sure that they don't waste time on other things other than focusing on what they must do in order to succeed in their exams. And one way of focusing is to know what to do when. And discipline is part of it. Avoiding excitement because you are a candidate, but amidst all, prayer and prayer, persistent prayer.
The school principal, Canon Lydia Ibingira, said that the candidates have been fine-tuned in direction of the new curriculum.
They have been prepared very well. They are confident, they are excited, they are eager to see what they have to do, because this is our pioneer candidates, and being pioneers, we've done our best, and they are eager and excited to ensure that they do these exams with all their might and energy. They are very excited.
Senior 4 examinations are start next Monday with chemistry and music oral for the transitional class, while those for the new lower secondary curriculum start with mathematics and chemistry.
I'm proud to be here today, and of course on Monday we have our first papers, and I hope, because we are really prepared, our teachers have been there for us, and of course it's a sure deal, God is going to answer our prayers because hard work pays.
At St. Francis Junior School, Budo, it was a trio of activities highlighted by blessing of the 194 primary 7 candidates that are ready for the 2024 examinations. The Mass was graced by Reverend Raymond Karanzi, whose message was focus, behavior and seriousness as the keys to unlock most doors in the world.
But if we are not serious, we're not going to get there. This is not the time for long preaching. I think the message has come across. What is number 3? What is number 3? What is number 1? What is number 3?
These are primary 7 examinations that start on 6th November with mathematics and social studies and religious education, and will climax the next day with integrated science and English.
This is a great moment when receiving blessings from all stakeholders. You are blessed for a brighter future. What you have achieved before may not determine what you can achieve tomorrow. Therefore, prepare yourselves for individual success. The mountain you are about to climb has been climbed by very many, including your parents, including the clergy here, including the head teacher. Like you have been guided, be focused. What was the second one? The third? Perfect.
At St. Francis Junior School, Budo, there was also profession of faith by 88 learners, with the school director appealing to parents to ensure they are exemplary.
We therefore call upon you to take up the responsibility of ensuring that our confirmants keep in line with God's commandments, support them spiritually, conduct prayers together as a family, and go to church with them.
Parents that have dedicatedly continued with the school for 10 years, climaxing with this candidate class, were also rewarded for loyalty.
Now over to Moroto, but still on UCE. All schools in Moroto district are set to start the Uganda Certificate of Examination, national examinations to set and commence on Monday next week.
Rupa Seed Secondary School, a government-aided school in Rupa Sub-County, Moroto District, has a fully-fledged computer laboratory with at least 28 computers. At Rupa Secondary School, learners are sitting for their maiden national examination of the Uganda Certificate of Education and are also expected to do ICT papers even when the school has no electricity.
Since it was the very first time, and yet these people, many don't have
the examination fees for registration. So altogether we had 60 plus students, 62 around there. But now the ones who are there, 41.
The school registered a total of 41 candidates this year.
That gave impetus to the teachers to try their level best to have these children prepare for what UNEB wants.
School has been aiding learners in ICT practical lessons using facilities of Moroto High School, located 18 kilometers away.
We handle ICT in theory. The practical part is not done here. Although we have computers, government gave us the computers, around 28, we are not using them. We go to Moroto High School for practical lessons in computer studies.
Why you don't use the computers you have?
Because we don't have electricity here. Even the solar power we have here is so weak, it does not run those computers.
Moroto Parents Secondary School in Moroto Municipality has electricity but does not teach ICT due to lack of computers.
ICT learners, first of all, because we don't have the lab. There is no computer, not even a single computer. It's not here. Even the teachers, we don't have the teachers. So who will guide these students? There will be nobody to guide the learners, to help learners. But the learners have the interest.
But you have power here.
We have power. The place is already connected to power.
All these challenges are coupled with insecurity, absenteeism, poor attitude of parents and learners towards education, and limited infrastructure.
Absenteeism of the learners, in and out, comes 1-2 days, the third day in the course of the term is not there. Even the reporting of the candidate themselves, they even reported this term 2 weeks. That's why we still have this subject of the continuous observation checklist, which we are yet to fill, because we have to follow them up to last Wednesday. We had to make assessment because some of them are.
Uganda Certificate of Education exams will commence on Monday next week.
Police in Leras City today attempted to block the election of the new paramount chief of Lango and the Lango Culture Foundation. This followed an interim injunction issued after the commencement of the election.
The election of a new paramount chief of Lango and the Lango Cultural Foundation started normally this morning. The Electoral Commission had organized for 649 polling stations across Lango sub-region.
No, they have it all over.
However, at about 1 p.m., police led by DPC Lira City West stormed the polling station at Palms Garden, asking officers there to stop the activity.
The interim order stopping this exercise. No, as simple as that.
No, we are not going to accept. We are not going to accept. This is intimidation in a free and sovereign country. We are not going to accept.
After verbal exchanges, police later left and voting continued. This follows an interim court injunction issued after the commencement of the election. The order was to restrain the group from proceeding with the election and not to declare nor install and coronate any candidate as winner of the said election.
We are citizens of Uganda. We have our right. We are expressing our cultural right. We are sovereign.
Equity has to be done to everybody. And I don't think there should be selective justice. And anybody who tries to do that, we should think twice whom he's playing with. Because we don't play games in issues of law.
All the way from Kampala to come and exercise my rights as a Lango. This is the democracy we needed.
4 people are contesting to replace Mzee Yosa Modurebe, who is set to retire next month.
The votes you have cast today, the people of Lango, this vote is going to determine the paramount chief that will stand in to show our children good culture, to collaborate with the government with good spirit.
The leadership of Lango Cultural Institution has also issued a statement denouncing the election and the Lango Cultural Foundation.
One, it is a sham election. It is an exercise in futility. It is a hocus pocus, and not any sane Ugandan in their right thinking senses would go by these election results. Our preparations for the coronation is continuous. Now that the court has granted us an interim injunction with this kind of sham election, that it was parallel to the coronation, I believe that this is going to put them to rest. Yeah.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
President Yoweri Museveni is set to launch the innovative 4-acre model campaign in Bunyoro sub-region, starting with the Greater Chibale districts. This landmark event will take place at the Chikwaya Playground in Kakumiro district on November 15, 2024, starting at 10 a.m. All residents, civil servants and leaders of Greater Chibale districts in Bunyoro and neighboring areas are invited to attend the launch in large numbers. The 4-acre model initiative led by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni aims to integrate ordinary people into the money economy. During his visit, President Museveni will tour selected 4-acre model farms in the area. This launch will showcase the initiative's impact on local communities, highlighting tangible benefits and success stories of the strategy for households. Don't miss out on this extraordinary event that promises to reshape the future of food security and socio-economic well-being for the people of Greater Chibale districts in Bunyoro sub-region and neighboring areas. Join area leaders for this event aimed at lifting ordinary people out of poverty using their available small land. The mega event will be held at Chikwaya Playground in Kakumiro district, Greater Chibale on November 15, 2024 at 10 a.m.
At Uganda Development Bank, we are committed to empowering communities by supporting projects that unlock excellent economic benefits for Ugandans through job creation, tax contribution, output value, and foreign exchange. We seek partnerships with projects that drive economic development in Uganda.
Wanatudilinga mumwanyi, kulime mwanyi. Famu ya fenu, eriku bugazi bahika, chikuma 25. Mwanyi za feza miaka hivi kati. Wetupata na ikukusimba. Wetupata andikila. Tupata neka neika 10. Wetupata neika 10 izwa kunanga pilot project. Hakata aho. Esenje zali ntono nga gwochimanyi wano mu Uganda. Kati nasalawo okutukira UDB. Kati bwatukira UDB nawe tebaba babibi sente bakola ki bazi tuweereza. Kati ne tutandika guno mulimo mukola ki gwe mulaba. Kati mukutane guno mulimo mulaba. Tuguze mu bingi kwangu laba tuli ku drip system. Then kanu katwakata Israeli eleze sente zimu ezakugura okuva Israeli. Then nokutuyamba mu bakozi okusima the reservoir nezi no control room zinagagola bagwe generator wateba jona yaba jona mu UDB. Wano ngaba limbona abalone mu Uganda. Waliwo abesobola walima abatesobola. Batukire UDB. Wanga fe etuyambye netwa buli kimu okutwaliza wamu mu UDB tufunyemu.
Now, as we continue in our next segment, research on youth employment policy and their impact by Makerere School of Economics has revealed that youth in Uganda are still facing unemployment and underpayment even with institutional qualifications. Minister of State for Youth and Children's Affairs, Balam Barugahara, urged the youth to engage in trainings that align with the job demands of their specific regions.
In a move to create employment opportunities for the youth, a report conducted by Makerere School of Economics has revealed that while government programs allocate funds for empowering beneficiaries, they often neglect the essential aspects of operational support.
The youth are not being fully prepared adequately before they are given these resources. There is lack of monitoring, follow-up of these programs. The recovery rates are low, especially for the supply-led policies like the Youth Livelihood Fund, EMIOGA and the rest, as compared to the demand-led, like the capital venture.
Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs, Balam Barugahara, has acknowledged the significance of equipping the youth with aligned skills to the needs of their specific regions.
So the Karamojong should be trained on how to mine gold, on how to add value to their marble, on how to extract limestone. So we should have not give them a presidential skilling institute in Karamoja and teach hair making and hairdressing. No, they are not interested in that. What they need is probably best animal practices. How can we improve our herds?
However, there is need for extra government intervention to prepare the youth in the entire innovation chain.
Skill this youth is not good enough. They will not take up. They will not, unless we have a supporting environment. If they have been skilled, can we ensure that the registration process is very clear for a startup? Okay.
Among the recommendations is to bridge the information gap in order to fight inequality and promote capacity building.
I also call upon government to encourage young people to join the virgin area, that is agriculture. Agriculture is still to date the backbone of Uganda's economy. In agriculture we say we have dirty hands, but we earn very clean money.
Funds diversion and misuse of resources by leaders is still an obstacle to implementing significant youth programs. Kayen Faith and Stephen Kalisia for UBC.
Mbarara City Mayor Robert Mugabe Kachebezi has applauded government for setting up development projects on wealth creation. During a meeting with the city leader, Mugabe commended the government for projects like Mbarara Central Market, schools and roads, among others. Let's hear more in this report.
Mbarara City Mayor Robert Mugabe has asked all district leaders to ensure that government projects meet the objectives for which they were started. Mugabe, addressing a workshop convened at Mbarara City Hall with an objective of strengthening teamwork among Mbarara City leaders.
I want to thank the President again. They have also given us money to upgrade, to have another health center. Now, we have Nyakayo Health Center 3 that has been upgraded into Health Center 4. And the UPDF is the one that is doing the construction.
He noted that such government projects have helped in developing the city and enhanced livelihoods for many people.
What we need is to bridge up some gaps in NRM. We don't want to become like these parties where you find there is this mfunguro, and when we become united, that's when even service delivery will reach properly to these people. Secondly, that's when even NRM as NRM will get the highest votes in this city of ours.
Mbara city leaders lauded government for the implementation of projects like roads, markets, schools, among others. Senior Presidential Advisor, Mobilization of the RDC Secretariat Office of the President, Lieutenant Colonel retired Ambako Kibra, used this opportunity to challenge leaders to continuously monitor government programs.
Get out of the office. Even the RDC should not be sitting in the office to do what? With education, I confirm that there are very many school-age-going children who are in town doing petty work as their colleagues go to school.
Others present at the meeting included Rampara district leaders, who also commended government for supporting the district since its establishment in July 2019.
It has added us 2 more seed schools, making them 74 government-aided schools. We are so grateful. However, the challenge is that we lack the teachers. The teachers are very few. Because they banned recruitment, we are only doing replacements, and replacements, it's because of death, it is because of transfers, but we basically request the government, if it would and allow recruitment, would be very grateful as Rampala district. In service delivery, the children are able to be immunized, the mothers are able to be delivered, and the work becomes easier for us.
Uganda sub-county, I have almost 11 loads to cater for, to work on. But unfortunately, we are only given 8 million yearly. So you see, that is little money. I was also appealing to the government to increase that money at least to 50 million.
Now, Uganda Network on Law, Ethics and HIV/AIDS, together with civil society organizations on HIV, have expressed concerns over the increasing numbers of cases of unlawful dismissal of people living with HIV from workplace. It has been stated that most of the employers that do such subject their employees to mandatory HIV testing without their consent, which is a violation of their human rights. Let's hear more in this report.
Uganda has made tremendous efforts in the fight against HIV/AIDS over the years. Despite the decline in the new infections, mistreatment of people living with HIV in workplaces continue to be witnessed. It is against this backdrop that Uganda Network on Law, Ethics and HIV/AIDS, Uganet, is calling upon regulators, development partners and other stakeholders to refocus efforts on addressing stigma and discrimination.
Uganet condemns in the strongest terms the actions of employers who disregard human rights, especially of people living with HIV. Such actions roll back decades of progress in the fight against HIV and AIDS and perpetuate harmful stigma that discourages others from seeking testing, care, and treatment.
No one should discriminate another based on their status, and it should not be used as a reason not to employ anyone or even terminate them. So that is there. The policies are very clear. The gaps seem to be in enforcement. We all know that the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has labour officers. KCCA has labour officers at the national level. But at district level, we also have district labour officers. Like in this particular case, for Hoima, we know that there's a district labour officer. What are they doing in terms of enforcing policies and laws?
HIV/AIDS advocates noted that scientific evidence has shown with access to proper care and treatment, individuals living with HIV can lead a healthy and productive life and contribute meaningfully to both their personal development and national programs. According to the HIV/AIDS Prevention and Control Act, Cap 126 explicitly prohibits the mandatory testing of individuals and the disclosure of their status without their consent.
Zero tolerance to any form of discrimination. My message goes to HRs of the various institutions and companies. Such things come up and HRs, human resources, oba abakulira abakozi mbitongole, never sirika. Yet ebintu byakolebwa mubiraba mu constitution mwebiri. So they stand a warning that will follow them up because the law is very, very clear.
Realize that majority of these foreign organizations are the ones persecuting our nationals, are the ones forcing our people to go for HIV tests, are the ones denying Ugandans jobs because they're HIV positive, are the ones dismissing Ugandans from their work because they're HIV positive. But do you even mind to follow up and see how they treat the Ugandans? So we are calling up the government of Uganda. Please don't just allow people to come and construct dams and roads, but follow up and see how these foreign companies treat the workers.
The Ministry of Health recently launched the National Policy Guidelines on Ending HIV Stigma and Discrimination 2023 for an enabling legal and policy environment to end HIV/AIDS as a public health threat in the country by 2030. Zahara Abigawa, UBC News.
Let's take a short break and return with our business stories. Well, it's time for business, and the Minister of Presidency, Millie Babalanda, has urged the public to adopt eco-friendly energy sources for cooking as a measure to combat deforestation. She made this appeal at the launch of the Clean Cooking Drive by Starbucks International.
This initiative aimed at promoting clean cooking and environmental conservation was officially launched in Nansana by the Minister for Presidency, Millie Babalanda.
This is the way to go. Already President yatekawo bani kuchi, yatekawo bani kukutema emiti amanda. It is through such corporate responsibilities that the people appreciate your business and get attracted to other packages on offer. For example, the people of Uganda will very much be excited about the gas hire purchase plan.
According to the National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, about 90% of Ugandan households rely on charcoal and firewood for cooking, a practice that significantly contributes to deforestation and the rapid loss of forest cover.
This partnership for promoting clean energy is the way to go as per the Millennium Sustainable Development Goals. You know, 94% of the households in Uganda rely on firewood and charcoal.
Starbucks International believes that through making such sources of energy more affordable and accessible to all, the country will be able to protect its forests and mitigate the dangers of climate change, which is closely linked to deforestation on a global scale.
Certainly confirm to you that when you look at these regions of Albertine, Eastern, where we have stations, we've noticed that the uptake of gas is still in a very low scale. So we would really wish to request the government to ensure that we enforce the ban on charcoal business, deforestation, so that people are able to embrace the use of clean energy.
We therefore request you to be our patron and hold our hands, and we move and make sure that all corporate institutions, marketplaces are mobilized to partake of this affordable gas.
On board,
On display at the event was a liquefied petroleum gas-powered griddle machine that aims at revolutionizing the chapati making process. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
Police in northern Uganda have cautious about counterfeit seeds that are on local markets.
And Uganda has arrested a one dealer Joel in Oyam district in connection to selling counterfeit seeds to farmers.
It is true. This is dealer Joel, alias Omach Robin.
The arrest of dealer followed an outcry from farmers over quality of seeds after the failure to germinate.
Unfortunately, complaints have been coming about the seeds failing to germinate. And our police officers in Yam did their best and apprehended the suspect. We have recovered some liquid substance which is using for coloring the seeds.
Us being a secretary for Yom Agro Cooperative, they are supplying us seeds and we are selling to the farmers. So I wanted to come and compare what is making with that one, which is sold. I found that that one was fake. I decided to join, to coordinate the police of Yam Central Police. When they came, they arrested him at my home.
Dealer Joel was arrested and detained at Oyam Central Police Station for defrauding farmers in the region. North Kyoga Police spokesperson Jimmy Patrick Okema has advised farmers to be on alert and also warned all those selling fake seeds to the farmers to desist from their actions.
Well, this calls for total vigilance among the farmers. It's important that they be very careful and understand where they procure their seeds from for purposes of making sure that they plant seeds that germinates, because at the end of the day they will be the losers. And we also encourage them to liaise with big companies such that if there is any complaint, you know where to start from. It will be easier for you to go and complain than an individual who is dealing on his own. It becomes a little challenging.
The Ministry of Agriculture had also earlier on warned farmers about fake seeds, especially during the planting season. Moses Erongo, the senior inspector at the Ministry of Agriculture, says they are concerned over unauthorized people who are defrauding farmers. He says this has mainly affected farmers who received inputs from the parish development model.
Poor quality seed in northern Uganda is really becoming a concern to us, and especially in the second season. Last year, it again happened that because farmers have money, that's a good thing. BDM has given farmers money, but again, these people are taking advantage by running to farmers, convince them. So we are trying so much to work with the districts to especially educate farmers with this through the extension messages. We tell farmers and emphasize that let farmers go to these genuine dealers. And also as government, look at how best to encourage farmers to pick from the genuine agro input dealers whose practices are in line with what the government requires. Issues of storage, issues of packing, everything. The seed which has been produced and certified is only sold in those input dealers.
Northern Uganda is seen as a potential food basket for the country and its neighbors.
And in sports, in the wake of acquiring FIFA Big Leagues Gaddafi Football Club, Uganda Printing and Publishing Corporation UPPC Friday unveiled the new management new kit and declared its intentions for the club for the next 7 years.
UPPC, a government parastatal, has joined the likes of URA, KCCA, prisons, UPDF and others in supporting sports and growing talents. This through acquiring Gaddafi FC, which will soon become UPPC FC. With the acquisition, UPPC has also shared its plans for the club and the young players for the foreseeable future.
We are here to promote talent, and we are basically doing this in line with the government agenda of promoting and skilling talent. Also, through sports, we want also to promote our brand. That is Gaddafi FC this season. The name we're using this season will be playing here in Entebbe at Works Ground, just as after Total and Shell, behind Shell actually. But our 7-year strategic plan is to rule the continent in 7 years as in sports, basically in football. That is every trophy in the continent will be with UPPCFC.
The new management has also appointed a new coach who will oversee the club's technical activities and help restore the club to its former glory.
Very happy. And even the way they are treating me is okay now. Because I know in football I've been not okay like the way I am now. As you know me, Kabonge, Uganda, Football Mesa, they promote of all clubs, 5 clubs to Premier League. I can even promote another one. I can do this. With the small they have, I promote club. My target is to promote them to Premier League.
Players are excited and both the new management and coach are hoping for a great season.
As a player, I'm very excited here and I'm happy because everything here is going well. Really a good coach. And the way he's coaching us, he's telling us to be disciplined, to do everything in time, because discipline is the key.
Gaddafi FC is currently seated 5th on the league table after 1 game and will play their second game and first home game at their new home in Entebbe Works Playground against Chitezi Homeboys on Sunday 13th October 2024.
Mandela Group of Companies has flagged off over 30 lucky people to Dubai who have been servicing their vehicles at the oil and as a give back. The fully paid trip will see these winners enjoy a 3-day treat in Dubai as well as have an experience driving in the desert.
The company has been running a promotion as a service and win, in which participants were required to do service at any of the city oil service stations.
Promised. We are honoring our promise. We are taking our clients to Dubai for the Dubai Desert Challenge 2024. These are customers who have been servicing their vehicles with us, and a total of over 36 customers are going to travel with us for 3 days. They are going to spend 3 days in Dubai.
This promotion is aimed at giving back to the customers since the growth of their automobile service has been powered by the taxi community and other motorists over the years.
We want our customers to get some time off work, off their busy schedules, and they go to Dubai and basically enjoy. But like the trip is, or the promotion was, it's Dubai Desert Challenge. Just know they are going to have fun in the desert, they are going to drive those big cars, they are going to race in those cars. So they are basically going to enjoy courtesy of Mandela Group of Companies. And like we said, or we've been saying in our promotions or in our draws, it's a fully paid trip where clients are going to enjoy everything fully paid by Mandela Group. They are going to sleep in a 7-star hotel. They are going to have everything first class.
In areas of combating climate change, City Oil is encouraging the public that did not win not to give up, but continue trying since there's the possibility of one lucky person winning electric vehicles.
As you are aware, we've just again launched another another promotion where customers are going to go away with 3 electric vehicles. Okay, so please, if you've not gone to Dubai today, just know that there are still other avenues of how you can enjoy from Mandela Group of Companies.
Some of these lucky winners have expressed their gratitude towards the Mandela Group of Companies for the opportunity given.
Kuba kino nze nali nakyegomba dda okuviira ddala emabega eri bawangudde ne ngamba nti ayi Allah nze ani atawangula ebbanga ddene nga ntambulira wamu ne Mandela ku mafuta saavisi na buli kimu kyonna mipiira lingirongo byonna nzize ntambula nabyo wamu okutuusa olwaleero luno. Alhamdulillah, Allah.
The Abu Dhabi Desert Driving Challenge is an off-road motorsport event that typically involves navigating through the challenging terrain of the Abu Dhabi Desert. Justine Nakami, UBC News.
That's all we had time for. Thank you so much for allowing us into your space. My name is Patricia Lukoma. It's a good night from me, but UBC TV programming continues. Good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The freak himself, DJ Sante Santos, the problem.
Yes, coffee crew, familiar. No, no, no. Big familiar. Singing dum dum dum. Slagga da dum dum dum, Italian reggae family, sing da dum 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 dum, singing dum dum dum. Slagga da dum dum dum, Italian reggae family, singing dum dum dum. Slagga da dum dum dum, Italian reggae family.
It's the freak himself, DJ Sante Santos. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at DJ Santos the 256.
In Italy there are beautiful and white sand, pretty colors and the food is proper. We all Italians like to stick together, but can never mix wine with water. Opera, Wild Boar and Prada, KG Man.